B.S.ing with the guys. We're back at it. I am
How y'all doing?
Shane. That is Brad.
How y'all
Lot
doing?
of shit going on. I mean, major moves being made already by Trump and his team. I've been following it the last couple days, man. I heard it's actually just breaking news that he's talking about Marco Rubio. Uh,
Secretary of State?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how you feel about that, but I mean, I don't really jump up and down about it. I mean,
no.
I just kind of,
Yeah,
me,
I don't
me,
I don't know what to think about it. And I guess you'd have to go look at your research and see in the past, like when Trump ran his first term, was Marco Rubio there for him? Was he with him on his side and in his corner, or did he have anything negative to say about him? But even JD
yeah.
Vance did too. So
Well, that's true. Yeah, a lot of
yeah,
people weren't very fond of Trump, the first
no.
go around. But Rubio just, I don't know, man. I don't know if he's just too entrenched into politics,
Yes.
to really like go head on with these people, that Trump's trying to take on in it,
Yeah.
you know.
Even if you could just deduct, regular everyday folks, man, even if we could just deduct the credit card interest that people run up every year,
Yeah,
off your taxes. And probably back in the 70s, man, you could do that. And then of course Congress
right.
or the IRS put it into that shit. So no, I think it's a great move. It's really all about, man, it is. It all boils down to um putting more money into the people's hands. And
Yeah,
it's mostly the taxpayers.
right.
And,
Now,
and
well, let me ask you with the credit card stuff, I mean, is that more of like an argument as far as you don't have to have credit cards. So if you go applying for these credit cards and get something that's got a 20 something percent interest, isn't that your problem? You know what I mean?
you would think, but I mean, as we move into this dollar that I still believe is coming, and you and I talk about, God, it is what it is. And I mean, look the last 4 years, man. I've noticed my little credit card debt's up to
Yeah.
where we're using more credit cards just for the sake of cash. We need some cash from time to time,
Y-
and our business has been a little bit slow, but yeah, I guess it's a double-edged sword, Shane. But I mean, I guess if you're paying your bills, I think it's just, we're
Oh
taxed to
yeah.
death in this
Yeah.
country. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you should be able to write it off for sure. You can write off your home interest.
Yeah, and they start sucking you in with these credit cards as soon as you turn 18. You know what I mean? They start
Absolutely.
bombing you with these applications in your mailbox. And if
Yes.
someone hasn't had the right training coming up, financially,
Oh
they
yeah.
just look at that as an opportunity to be able to have access to some funds, and
Yes.
they ignore the part about it being 27% interest because they don't understand all that. You
No.
know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's a little predatory, but in the end,
Yeah.
you do sign up for it. You know what I mean?
And
Now,
it seems like that's what they hit. They hit them college students,
no, of
man.
course they do.
You
They
know,
got
they're on the
me.
yeah.
Soon as I got
e-
out of high school, and I started filling them out like a dumbass. Next thing you know, I'm fucking in debt and can't pay this shit. My credit
Absolutely.
shot to shit, and it took years
Absolutely.
to repair. You know what I mean? But I
Yes.
was never taught about that shit. No
No.
one ever told me anything. It was just, here you go. Here's some credit card applications, and I'm like, oh damn, so I can fill this out, and they're gonna give me $1,500 to go spend. Fuck, let's do it.
Let's do it. You just don't
Send me another
realize
one.
the 22, 27%
Yeah.
interest, which I think some of them now, I think the average is probably like 30%
It's
interest.
high, dude. It's bad. It's bad.
To
And
me, that's almost like loan
and
sharking.
well, right. And then the more they fuck the economy up, the more people start relying on them.
Absolutely.
So therefore, I guess there is some sort of, blame the government needs to take. So I guess if you can help people by letting them at least claim that shit on their taxes, and it's the least they can do, because sometimes people are just drawn like they have no other choice. They've
Yeah.
exhausted all their other sources of income, to try to
Right.
pay the bills, and they got to feed their family, so they put it on a credit card. Well, like you said, now it's 30% interest on a fucking loaf of bread and everything else that you're over there buying. You know,
Exactly.
and it,
100% right. Yeah. It's scary. It really
yeah,
is. It's scary. But yeah, look, man, I think Trump's going to turn things around. I still wonder that I hope these Democrats didn't screw it up that much in the last 4 years that it can't be corrected. But when
he's
look, credit card debt in this country is over $1 trillion now, man. It's just
yeah,
it's
yeah. Now
incredible, man.
I did see we won the house, so we did get it. We
Yeah.
got
Oh
the
yeah.
House, the Senate. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. See, I hadn't been on the news a lot in the last shit today, really. In the last
Right.
few hours, and now I'm getting on X and I'm seeing all these updates, and I'm like, holy shit, we done got the House. We got I'm like, man, I mean, we got
You
it
can't ask for
all.
a more perfect situation. You
It's
know.
fucking it's beautiful, man. And like I
Yes.
said, the shit this man's talking about doing already. I mean,
Yes.
I love it. Like I don't know how much of it he's gonna actually be able to get done, but just to hear that, he's gonna do what he has to try, to try to get these things done. I mean, he's got
Exactly.
one where he's talking about asking Congress to pass a bill, basically establishing the fact that there's only two genders, male and female. So all this shit will stop with these girls have to participate against these men and these in these college sports and everything else. So that whether he's going to get that passed, I don't know. And it's a shame we even have to bring
I was
that
getting ready to
to
say, isn't
Congress.
that a damn shame? You got to do that. You got
Yeah,
to pass a bill to
yeah,
recognize in law that there's only two genders. It's just, I
yeah.
don't know, man.
To establish the fact that there's male and female. Get
Yeah,
over it. You know what I
absolutely.
mean? What
It's so
else?
nuts. It
I
really is.
know. I know. He's man, I know he's talking about destroying the World Health Organization, what I think is a beautiful thing. I
Yes.
mean, I think it's amazing. I mean, we saw what they were all about when COVID came
With
around.
COVID. Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm sure
absolutely.
they were always up to their dirty shit, but I just think a lot of it came to light. So, he's fighting that too. I mean, that's going to be a hard battle because that's some powerful people behind that. But with RFK in his corner, I think they're going to go at that very hard. With the
Yeah.
health stuff. So I love to see it, man.
Me
I
too.
love
Yeah,
it.
look, me too, man. If it's something as simple as fluoride in the water and whatever other crap that and go after some of this food, man, because I know you and I have discussed it of what we actually eat is just
It's garbage.
it's garbage.
It's
It really
poison.
is.
It's to
It
the point
really
where it's
is
almost
poison.
poison. And I know Kennedy, he was talking about, I mean, firing somewhere around 600 employees at all these national institutes of health. I
I'm
mean, that's a
in.
lot of people. I'm in
Yes.
too. I mean,
Yeah.
now you're stepping on a lot of toes doing that, but it needs to
It'll be all
happen
right.
because none of them have our best interest in mind. And you can tell by the shit that they're allowing us to consume, where in a lot of other places, they don't allow that kind of nonsense in the food. They
No,
have
they
a
really
lot more
don't.
regulations than we do. And that should tell people something. It's disgusting what they're allowed to get away with. If you line the right person's pocket, like
Yes.
all these FDA people, man, it's all a big money grab for these people. You got like a guy named Stephen Hahn, I think it was his last name. Well, he's a former FDA commissioner in charge of regulating Moderna. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Well, now,
Yes.
of course, he is an officer of Flagship Pioneering, which is the venture capital firm behind Moderna. So he went from the FDA to Moderna.
Of
You know what I
course.
mean?
Of
And there's a
course.
list of these guys that they go from working for the FDA, they help these fucking people get whatever they're trying to accomplish through, and then they wind up on the board or some kind of huge, part of these companies. It's terrible, man. And that's the shit RFK is trying to crack down on, you
Yeah, they
know?
need to crack down too on these politicians that leave office and then they go join these
Of
lobbyist groups and
course.
all that, and they're making millions on that. And then, of course, they have the influence already from serving in Congress to
Yeah.
get some of these bills and actions passed. Yeah, it's just it's really sickening, man. It really is.
No, they already had another one. Mark McClellan, I think is how you say his name. Well, he was the former FDA commissioner in charge of regulating Johnson and Johnson's.
Right.
Well, you can guess what board he's sitting on right now.
Of course.
Johnson and
Absolutely.
Johnson. Yeah,
Johnson and Johnson.
it's
How
sick,
you like
man.
that?
They shouldn't even be allowed, but that's
No.
why they give in so much at the FDA. As far as allowing this kind of shit that comes through, whether it be pharmaceuticals or shit that they allow to be in our foods. They always wind up. They're looking for the bigger picture for them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I don't know how that shit's even legal. Like, how can
No.
you be in charge of helping something pass, for a major company, and then a few years later you're sitting on the board of directors of that company? Man, that's not good at all.
No, it's
You
not.
know?
It's just it's corruption at the finest, man, at its highest levels.
Yeah,
So yeah, I
it's
don't know. And I'm hoping I'm really excited for Trump. I hope everything goes good. I hope he stays safe and I believe in his heart. I believe he learned a lot from the last time he was in office that
big time.
of the who to trust and who not to trust.
Big
So
time. I would
I,
hope. I would
you
hope
would
he's
hope,
that. Yeah, I
yeah,
take him being at least that bright to where he saw and he admitted himself. I mean, it was all new to him. He was trusting
yes,
people that he thought he could take their word for it, and I think he
exactly,
learned a hell of a lot,
yeah,
a
and a
hell
lot
of
of
a
them
lot.
shit on him for sure.
Yeah, man, that's true.
You know
That's true. I know he was talking about as far as the concealed carry, to where if you
that would
if
be
you
cool.
carry a permit in your state, it can go to any state. They're going to have to recognize it
Yeah.
and allow you to do that. If you're legal to do it in your state, basically,
But
you
let
can
me ask
cross
you,
state
since
lines.
we don't have to have a concealed permit in this state, how does that work?
That was my thought when I was reading that. Down
Yeah,
here, like you said, in Louisiana, we're not even required to have a
required.
license. We can just conceal carry. So does that
Right.
mean all these other states are going to have to respect our law?
Right.
And say, hey, I
Yes.
got a Louisiana ID. We're not required to have it.
Right.
I mean, I would hope that's what that would mean because we
I
can't
would.
even get a concealed carry license. We don't need them anymore.
No, exactly
You know
right.
what I
Yeah.
mean? I say we can't get them. I don't know. Maybe you could still pay for them and they'll give it to you, but
Yeah.
you know.
I don't even know what the if why would you do that,
Yeah, right.
Unless you have to go through some type of qualified course, I don't know, but it makes no sense that the law is
No,
that
it
we don't
don't.
need them, you know? But I
It
think that's
don't.
a cool thing wherever you go in the country.
It-
No matter if
yeah.
you're in liberal California, man, you can carry your concealed weapon.
Well, did you see the fella that he put in charge of the border?
Yeah,
The
Tom,
border czar? Was it
the borders
Homan?
are what was it, Tom, is it Tom
Homan, I think he's how you
Homan?
pronounce it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Homan. Yeah, man, he is something, man.
Oh, dude.
I love him. I watched him
He's on.
going up against AOC and the rest
Yeah,
of
you
those
saw that?
clowns when they were grilling him. Oh, it was
Yeah.
beautiful, man.
Yeah, family separation and all that crap,
Which is
so
a lot of what I'm seeing people complain about is, because it sounds so cruel when you just say it like that. You
yes.
know what I
Oh,
mean? It's
absolutely.
and I get it, I get it, but it's just kind of like he was saying, if you weren't here illegal in the first place, that wouldn't even be anything you'd have to worry about. You know what I
No.
mean? If you go through the right protocols, then that's nothing you need to be concerned with. And another thing he threw out is it's just like any US citizen. If you're
Yeah,
arrested, you're separated from your family. You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Yeah,
Now,
he did
granted,
mention that, yeah. If
yeah,
it's a
you're not
DUI
shipped
or a
away.
domestic dispute and you got a kid with
Right.
you, they're separating you, man.
They're
So,
separating you. Now, I
yeah,
mean, granted, you're not shipped off to another country or whatever, but hey, man,
right.
you've got to have some sort of control when it comes to that border and how many people we're letting in here and who we're letting in here. I don't know why that's
Absolutely.
such a argumentative point that people, you know what I mean?
It
It's
is.
like it's a free for all right now.
Oh, yeah. And I did hear that border crossings have kinda eased up a little bit. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but, yeah, hopefully that he'll get it, dude, and, they can stop this and, start
Yeah.
it does, it sounds a lot of people on the left are gonna say it's just so tragic and it's such bullshit, mass deportation. I hope he can accomplish that. I hope he can do it, and I hope that he can
Bro,
legally do it, and then there's not no issue.
I think he's gonna get a lot of shit done, a lot more than like you said he could his first go around. Like Mama Bear's calling it down there, the dream team. I mean, he's got a hell
It's
of a
true.
team he's putting together, man. I'm so fucking ready for this next year. I just
Yes.
really think you're gonna start seeing shit change uh, sooner than later.
Yeah.
Really, I don't think it's gonna take that long because I think he's got a
No.
lot of Republicans for one that are gonna back him because they see the
Yes.
following this man has, and if they want any kind of career in the conservative politics, they're going to have to jump on board with this Trump shit and realize that that's how more than half of the country is leaning right now. So
Yes.
they're going to have to deal with that shit and get on board.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy today, Shane, and he's in the oil and gas industry. And basically, what this guy does is leases oil fields or prospective oil fields, puts the money together, drills them. And look, he's hit a bunch of them, and he's a geologist. And some of them he hits, and some of them he doesn't. But
Yeah.
uh, he said, from what he's hearing and he's in that business, he said that's going to be one of Trump's first things: open everything up for drill baby drill.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to, and a lot of people have that misconception that this nation was developed on cheap energy, man. And
Sure.
that's how we run. So yeah, you can see how it's affected everything. I know what I spend in fuel just for my business, and
Yeah.
and so we got to have cheap energy, man. If it's coal, and I do look, do I believe there's ways to burn it clean and to harvest it where it's clean. And we do that. We're probably the cleanest in the world when it comes to any of that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's
So
definitely a lot more countries that are dirty in the sky way more than we are, and for some reason,
absolutely.
the United States seems to be the only one that people think are in control of all of this when it comes to
Yes.
this environment and this atmosphere. But you were touching on it about the fuels. I mean, everything is controlled by fuel as far as prices go. You
Yes.
see fuel
Yes.
get cheaper, everything that's getting delivered starts getting cheaper to these
All the
stores. I
goods,
mean,
dude,
it
that we
goes
consume.
hand in hand,
Yes.
and so whether or not these people like it or not, it is what needs to be done right now until
Yeah.
they can figure out an alternative source that everybody can live off of. And electric is not it right now, and they
No.
refuse to fuck with nuclear. You know what I
Right.
mean? They're just so
Right.
afraid of that for some reason, and that's about the only other source that could power what needs to be powered.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I
So
believe the whole electric crap that these Democrats were and these rhinos, I'm not going to just leave the Democrats alone out there. I'm going to put the rhinos in there too with this new Green Deal. And look, I believe that they want to push that because it's just another form of control, you know?
sure,
If they got everybody in electric and that's what worries me with this, with as much money as they print with the dollar, I hope he can stabilize that. I just, from a trip printing $1 trillion every 90 days to maybe trying to pay some of these deficits down. I don't know how you pay 35 trillion back. I just don't understand it. But
well, you start by not giving so much of it to Ukraine. That's
yeah,
a huge
well,
help.
yeah,
You know,
200
then you
billion.
could
Yeah,
then you could start paying off some of this debt. So I think he's
it's
going to
very
cut
true.
that right away. But
I think
you
that's going to
know,
be cut right away. And then,
yeah,
like you just said earlier, that, if you got people coming in saying, hey, I want to get rid of 600 federal employees, we need to cut. And that's just in one agency, and
one
yeah.
exactly.
And you start talking Department of Education and the CDC, and you can go down the list with all the alphabets and you start just getting rid of a lot of these people. And look, it might suck, but you know what? Get in the private sector, man. Go find another
Yeah.
job.
Well, and if we can actually get Elon on board, like Trump was talking and Elon's talking, if he really gets in on that with that
Yeah.
Department of Government Efficiency, the Doge or whatever, then I'm
Right.
telling you, right there is going to cut. I mean, the people are now, like you said, it sucks. People are going to lose their jobs, but a lot of it
Right.
are useless, just worthless fucking
Absolutely.
jobs. They're doing nothing but sucking off of the taxpayers. They have a
Absolutely.
lot of these little organizations within the government that are formed for nothing more than a money grab. They're most of them are
Absolutely.
fucking useless. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's
And
I
we see
think
it in our parish, man. We see it in our
yeah,
parish.
you see
I
it
mean,
every
the government in our parish is the largest employer of our parish, and
yeah.
it's just, and I see
It
it. It's a lot of useless jobs.
and that's
you know,
probably every county around the
it
country. You
probably
know what I
is.
mean? It's
Yeah.
just the government jobs are man. I don't know. It's like they just hand that money out. They always claim they don't have any, but they just
Right.
hand that shit out for people to stand around and do absolutely fucking nothing all day long.
Yeah.
And that's what you
It
see with a lot of these government jobs. And supposedly Elon was going to come in and try to clean a lot of that shit up. Now, I know a lot of this shit's a lot easier said than done. You know what I
sure.
mean? But at least they're looking at the right target. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
let's get this shit back on track. We're spending way too much money in this country on bullshit. So
Yes.
we got to start somewhere. You know.
Yeah,
But
and look, I do believe it, man. And building a wall and deporting these people, and is it fair that they bring that all these illegals come in this country and they're taking our tax dollars through the form of welfare and housing and all, and they're not even legal. So yeah,
yeah,
something's got to be done with that, and I think he's going to do that. I think he's going to try his damnedest to cut that and curb it. Um,
yeah,
and
the
just
whole
everything all the way in between, cutting taxes, man. Put more money into people's pockets, and you're going to see what happens. People are going to spend it. People
spend it.
probably won't save it. The average
Yeah.
guy but well, you put money in their pockets, they're going to stimulate the economy.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
whether they're saving it or not, it
right.
doesn't.
It's
They're
their money.
spending it, yes,
Yeah,
and they're spending it. So therefore, it's just circulating, and the economy's getting better. The dollar's getting stronger. I mean, these people, and I'm still watching people on the left, and I
yeah.
don't even mean really politicians, just left people freaking the fuck out.
Oh
Like
yeah,
everything's about to collapse. The world's about to go to shit because Trump
yeah.
got elected. But it's if they just look at some of the policies he's talking about putting into play, I don't understand how they can feel like that still. It's like they all sound great, so let's give the motherfucker a chance before we
Yeah.
go in panic mode.
What do
I
we have
don't
to
get
lose?
that.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we have
Yeah,
to lose? It is. It's
but
funny. It is. It's hilarious to see them in total meltdown. I mean, now they're out there shaving their heads and no sex with men and divorce your husband and
I seen all the head shaving go, and it was look, it's mainly the women that they don't wanna the men don't wanna fuck anyway, so it's
yeah,
like,
absolutely,
I'm watching all
absolutely.
like, they really got people out there freaking out like that
Oh
though.
yeah, dude.
Or
Yeah,
at least trying to get, some sort of views on their content, but that's how bad they want either. You know what I mean?
yes,
They either wanna show how much they hate Trump or whatever, or get content so bad that they shave in their fucking heads. They're going nuts, man.
they are
They're
going
going
nuts. They're in
nuts,
total.
and a
And
lot
look,
of
those are
it's
your people that are glued into the MSNBC and then
yes.
CNN and
I was just about to say that I was going to blame it on the media because some people aren't mentally stable to be watching the damn news all day long.
no,
And it's people like that, I can watch it. I get a little irritated at what I see, but I realize it's not, I mean, it's none of this shit's the end of the world. I'm not going to sit there and,
no,
start chopping off body parts or something and protest. I mean,
yeah,
it's
right,
like calm the fuck down. But
yeah,
I tell you,
concentration camps and all that crap that you hear.
it's so dumb. I
It
know,
is.
so
It's
dumb.
retarded. It really
But
is.
I
But
tell you
anyway,
what,
look, we're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna enjoy
it's
this of what's happening, and
I love it.
yeah, absolutely.
I tell you what else I love. I seen Oprah was paid $1 million by the Harris campaign to come out and
Wow.
support her.
Yeah,
And it's like, why did they have to pay you $1 million to come out and support them if you
absolutely.
really believe in what it's crazy. Now none of it mattered anyway, because what they go, I think they spent like $1 billion,
Over a
and
billion, I think. I think
yeah, and
she's
they
what,
went
still
and
20 million
then
overspent or
wind
something.
up
Huh?
in the hole.
Yeah, and I
It's
mean,
so
so
funny,
that
man.
goes for you're telling me like Beyonce, Eminem,
All of them.
Lady Gaga,
Yes.
Cardi B, all of them. What were they paid to just show up for their 2 to 10 minute ritual?
Well, and it's a shame you gotta pay any of them. It's like, if you
Absolutely.
really believe what you're
Right.
sitting out there screaming and telling all your followers to do and who to vote
Yep.
for, then you shouldn't have to get paid, especially someone like Oprah. Because 'cause let's be honest, what is $1 million gonna do for Oprah? You know what I mean?
Nothing.
But
Yeah.
apparently she wasn't coming out and doing it unless they gave her $1 million.
Yeah,
It's a
it
shame.
it is crazy. Yeah. Well,
But
I too, man, I want to see all of these Hollyweirds and all of them kind of people too, man. And also, I'm leaving the country if Trump's elected. Well, guess what, dude? Let's start seeing it. Rob Reiner, I'm
y
gonna set myself on fire if Trump's elected. I
yeah,
am
yeah,
still waiting for that video.
I'll light the fucking match, man. Fuck
Yeah,
him.
absolutely. I am
They,
waiting for that video, Rob.
Well, that was another thing I was thinking because you brought up the celebrities. You think they figured it out by now that they're not that fucking important? You know what I mean? Because they came out in
No,
full force with this. So
no.
you think they'll go at it
I
again?
think just their egos are just
That's
that big.
crazy, huh?
Yeah, I do. And then, to the average person like you and me, and probably the average group of people we hang with, dude, they're not they're nothing to us.
Right.
I'm not dependent upon what they say. That's for damn sure. Do they make a decent movie? Some of them do. That's what they need to stick to. You know.
It's just crazy that you said they came out in full force,
Right.
all against Trump, pretty much.
Oh
They
yeah.
got him nowhere,
Right.
and you're probably right. They'll do it again. Like they're
Yeah.
just so much. They feel like they're on this platform that's way up here when it comes to their intelligence level compared to the average citizen, just because they're famous. You know what I
But let
mean?
me ask you this, man. Let me play a little devil's advocate with you, man. What do you think? Do you think that's running through their head? What is this man truly going to do if he is elected? And to me, I think those Hollyweirds and a lot of these, and what's going on in the
Yeah,
whole realm. I think they're scared to death. A lot
I
of them.
see. I see what you're saying. So
You see
there's
what
more
I'm
to it
saying?
than just wanting
Yes.
Kamala to win.
Right.
They don't want him in office because they're afraid of some of the
Right.
shit that he. That's a good point. I'm sure there's a lot of them. That's the case. It's got to be.
It's
A
got to be,
lot of
dude.
them.
Yeah.
They're on some sort of list, whether it be the Epstein or the Diddy shit or
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Now some
Harvey
of them do it.
Weinstein. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Forget it. Some of them do it just because they think it's what you need to do to continue making movies. Because
Right.
Hollywood is so fucking liberal now.
Yes.
But I'm with you. There's probably a lot that think, man, we cannot get him in there. You know what I
Yes.
mean? The
Because
shit that might,
their
yeah,
shit's gonna might go south.
yeah.
So
That's true. It's a good point. But
it'll
and
be
I do think
interesting.
I think a lot of them they believe that they're that important. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
They really
Yeah.
believe it because they've been, told that for years. If they've been a
Yes.
movie star for 20, 30 years, well, they've always been put on this pedestal. Like they're
Right.
just, they're the top of society. You know what I mean? Well, they
Yes.
start thinking that equals having some sort of sense, just because
Yes.
you're popular. And it's like, no. Like, I don't need to hear what the fuck you got to tell me as far as voting. Go sing your song or, make your movie
Make
and
your
just
movie.
entertain us
Yes.
and shut up,
And stay the fuck out of politics. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly
and
right.
both sides, really, because Trump did it too. But the
Yep.
difference, like, I wasn't going to sit there because Kid Rock said vote for Trump. That's not why I voted for Trump. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Right.
It had nothing
No,
to
you're
do
right.
with a celebrity, but they
Right.
all do it. They try to pull them celebrities out because I'm sure it gets some people to it sways some people.
I'm sure it does. Oh,
But
Robert De Niro said vote for
yeah,
Kamala.
well, I just hope it
Okay.
was a slap in the face to people like him, this Taylor Swifts, these Jennifer frickin', these
Yes.
J Lo's, and whoever else decided to come out. I just hope it was a big slap in the face to them to say, no matter what you said, how many times you said it, what you posted it on, it didn't matter. People didn't
Yeah.
listen. You know what I
You're
mean?
not really that important.
No, and I heard some of the Democrats saying that they may have to rethink this strategy of using these celebrities, man. It's just not where it's at. I'm gonna tell you where it's at. And Trump found it was these podcasts. You know what I mean?
Yes.
These popular podcasts. And he
Yes.
said you can thank his son for that because his son's 18 years old. And he was kind of telling him, hey, Theo Vaughn and this one,
Right.
and I listened to this one and I really like him. You need to go on there, Dad. And he did. And I
And he did
think
it.
it helped. I think these
Oh,
big
absolutely.
podcasts helped put
Yeah.
him in the White House. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely. Without a doubt.
I seen AOC dropped a tweet. It might have been today or yesterday, but it was recent, and she was like genuinely wanting to know what podcast do y'all listen to as conservatives? I want to know. I really want to know, like, what are y'all into when it comes to these podcasts? So see, they're trying to make that transition over, and they're going to
Sure.
try to
Oh,
start
absolutely.
befriending these popular podcasts. you
Yes.
know, and it's going to help them, whether it be the presidential election or just their local elections or whatever.
Right.
I see exactly what they're doing because it's like, why does this woman care who the hell conservatives are listening to?
Yep.
But she was like, really, like, she really wanted to know. I
Yes.
just want to know what y'all listen to. I find it interesting, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, I know what you're trying to do. You know
Did
what I
you
mean?
comment to her and tell her BSing with the guys?
That's what I should. She can come on.
Absolutely. I'd welcome her on. Absolutely. I wouldn't
Like,
be
talk
afraid to
about
have her
any
on.
of them. Any of them. Bring it
Hmm.
on. Bring it
You
on.
know.
I'd love to sit down and have a talk with AOC. Mama
Yeah, and
Bear's
the
right.
left, man, the left is just feeding on itself right now. And I do believe there's a form of a civil war within the left right now, within the Democrat
Of
Party.
course it is.
Um, yeah, and look, as demented as Joe is, and you look back at his history, Joe's kind of just always been one of those guys that just rolls with the punches. He's probably an old blue blood Democrat.
Yeah.
And then you get Kamala, that just radical Marxist leftist, and she fits right into the Obama bullshit.
Yeah.
And I do believe that party has just come, there's a fork in the road. And I do believe a lot of Democrats that are registered Democrats, they might be, and we know some of them that it doesn't matter what it is, they're voting Democrat if they were for unions or whatever it is. But also they've come to this fork in the road where it's like, well, God, man, I support the Democrats because I've been a Democrat my whole life. But God, they're taking it so far to the left with all of this transgenderism and with all the bullshit. I do believe people voted, might have preached that they were Democrats. Boy, once you get in that booth, you hold your nose and you push Trump. So, and they saw the way the economy was going. So, yeah,
Yeah.
they need a total restructure, and I hope they never get it, to be honest with you. But I mean, but I think I think that's what they're in. They're in
Hey,
turmoil right now.
I
You
think they
know.
need to run Kamala again. So.
Somebody was posting earlier, Kamala 2028, but
Keep pushing her out
yeah,
there,
keep pushing her. Yeah, she
please.
can't put a sentence together, besides she grew up
Yeah.
in a middle class house.
No, I'm with you. I think over the next 4 years, a lot of them are going to take a look in the mirror. Now, not all of
Absolutely.
them, but a lot of them
No,
are, and say, because they're already doing it. I mean, there are some out there that are saying, like, okay, we're going down the wrong path. Because it's like you said,
absolutely.
with the whole, the that LGBTQ push, and nothing wrong with that. We're not saying, but as far as the way that they were pushing it on children, and
Yes.
they were just going too far with everything.
Yes.
It got past just progressing to where we can all kind of live in a society where we don't judge people. It went way past that. You know what I mean? Where they started
Absolutely.
forcing this weird shit on everybody, and they just wanted you to accept it because they said it was the thing to do. And then, like you said, with the way the economy is, man, people are hurting financially. All that shit adds up.
Yes.
And it's a shame.
Absolutely.
It takes them losing this election by a landslide to even start to somewhat realize that. You know what I mean?
Yes. I agree 100%. And I've always said it, man. It doesn't matter who's president or who's running the country. You start affecting people's pocketbooks and their everyday way of life, they're going to change their mind of who's in office. You
That's
know,
true.
if somebody else is preaching a better on a better pulpit, man, they're more likely going to gravitate that if you're dealing with their economics of their household. You know,
And that,
so
yeah, isn't that something that's how you get to people? Money, one way
absolutely,
or another,
yeah,
money.
yeah,
You know,
you
because
know,
they may agree with almost everything else you talk about, but when they're fucking broke, and then
yes,
somebody else is promising them a way out of that, they're
yes,
going there. You know what I
yeah,
mean? They may not say it out loud, but they're
right.
going there.
I agree with you 100%. And you can see it already, Shane. And, I don't know if you follow the markets as much as I do, but I'm kind of on it all day. But I mean, gold has tumbled a little bit for the gold bugs and the silver bugs out there. It's tumbled, but I think that's expected because that just means I think the dollar is going to be a little bit
A
stronger right
little bit
now.
stronger, right?
Yeah, and here the man isn't even president yet, and he's just out there touting what he wants to do. Stock market's still up. Yeah, and look at cryptos. I mean, just Bitcoin. Oh
Dude,
my
I
God,
know. It's bro, it's been
out the
soaring, huh?
box. Yeah,
My
out the box.
God, man.
You know,
I
and
was watching it just, I mean, just spiking, and it kind of, comes down a little bit,
yeah,
but it's just on that trend,
yeah,
man. All the cryptos,
yeah.
like holy
Doge,
shit.
Sheep, all of them, man.
Now, what do
Yeah,
you
all
think
of
that
them
has
really.
to
Just
do with? You think that's just the anticipation of Trump? I mean, like what you think's making that happen?
Um, God, I really don't know what's really truly making it happen. I do believe people have faith now, and the economy is going to get better.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't know if it's another way of protecting the dollar in some form of another, for total control. Because look, I do believe in the future, man, and I think in the near future, and it's happening now. But I do believe Bitcoin is just going to be an option that all of us will be presented with in business to take. And and it might be some other ones if it's through Ripple, XRP, or Doge. I don't
Doge,
know.
get it? No,
Yeah.
Doge.
Yeah, I
Doge
own a
got
little
to
bit
go.
of it, but yeah, I'm just looking to make a little hit on that. But yeah, like Bitcoin, I
Ah,
mean, Bitcoin's got traction, man. I don't
yeah.
see Bitcoin going anywhere. And I do
No,
believe,
no, no, no.
and there's some sites now where you can pay in Bitcoin. And I mean, look, if I
Sure.
could do it in my business, I would probably take Bitcoin if somebody wanted to pay me in Bitcoin.
Fucking right, I would at what it's at right now. I
Yeah,
mean,
isn't
because
that the truth?
it's never gonna be zero. You know what I mean?
No, never will be.
I'm with you. I think it's here to stay. It may be one of
Yes.
the few.
Right.
Like I said, the Doge thing is a fun thing. That's more of a just a hit it, get it, make you some money, and get out. Because
And
I
get
don't
out.
see everybody
Exactly.
now. The only thing that could change that is if Elon decides to stop fucking around and say I'm gonna start taking it for Tesla or Tesla products. You know what
How
I mean?
true is that?
But he
Yeah.
won't do that. He'll pump the
Not
shit
yet.
out of the coin all day long, but he won't accept
Right.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
So
isn't he coming out with his own search engine and all that, Elon?
he's trying to. I mean, it sounds like he's trying to come out with every aspect of anything to do with this, just social
Technology.
networking and
Yeah.
tech. Yeah, just any kind of tech. It seems like he wants to be on board with all of it. Now, I know Rogan asked him. I think the last time he was on the podcast before the election, he asked him about a cell service. Their own,
Yes.
and he said right now that wasn't in the plans. And I'm thinking, shit, come on, man,
Okay.
like let's
Yeah.
get that freaking Tesla phone out there, whatever the hell you want
That's
to call it.
the X phone or whatever he wants to
Yes,
call it, huh?
whatever the hell. Because I'd definitely sign up and get rid of this bullshit, these Apples and these
Yeah.
Androids, and
Oh, I'm
all the
telling you, dude.
spyware.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I tell you, man, since I got on X probably a year now, I just to me, it's my favorite social media platform. I just and of course YouTube, they do good for us, but it's open, man. I mean, it's to me, it's like the Wild Wild West, man.
yeah, and for good or bad, I mean, it needs to be.
Yes.
And a lot of
Yes.
people, I think we've touched on it before, but a lot of people, I don't think, realize the importance of that move when Elon
Yes.
bought that platform. I mean,
Right.
it because it was going down a horrible path, man,
It was. Oh
horrible.
yeah. Facebook,
You know,
Instagram, yeah,
you
all of
name
it,
it,
Yeah.
you name it.
You
I'm
know.
say I stay on TikTok a lot, man, and the strikes I get, it's almost daily, and it's for nothing, just for
It's
nothing.
bullshit, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
total
you just say
bullshit, huh?
one thing that they don't agree with, and there's a strike on your account. It's like, come
Right.
on, man, you know.
Well, you got to
So
behave. You got to play to the liberal
yeah,
bias, man. The
you're
liberal
damn right.
playbook.
Yeah, just get on there and scream "fuck Trump" every video.
Oh, dude, you'd never get a strike, I'm sure.
And
That's
start.
one, like I told you before, that's one I just don't mess with, but I probably should just to see what goes on there.
Yeah, It's all right, man. Did you see that FEMA worker that got in trouble for
Oh,
directing
yeah.
people to not help
She should have
people
been
that had
prosecuted in some kind of
oh,
way.
man,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe I mean, I guess I can believe it, but I'm
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
people are really that callous, man.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
because they support Trump, you're telling them to
Yes.
pass up people's homes? I mean,
Homes.
this
Yeah.
sick bitch, this is
Yeah.
people that were in need, like
Need.
desperate need,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and
It's a shame, man. I just don't even get it. But yeah, I mean, look, termination's one thing, but to me, that's like a dereliction of your duty. You're working
God,
for
yeah.
FEMA,
The government, yeah, that's the
Yeah,
federal fucking, yeah, there's
Yeah,
no
federal
way.
emergency management, and
Yes,
it's
she should be prosecuted by all means, for sure,
yes.
man. You don't do that shit. Like you said, I didn't even think about that till you said it, but yeah, it's a fucking federal agency. And you're
Yes.
sitting there telling them to pass up citizens' homes because they supported a certain candidate. How
Yes.
fucked up is that? You
But
know?
that's the party of compassion is what they tell you.
I forgot about that.
You
Yeah.
know?
I
Yeah.
forgot about, yeah. I did. It's a good
It
point you
it is
make.
nuts,
So,
man.
so we'll
So,
give her a pass then, because that's the
yeah,
party of compassion. So,
compassion, absolutely, absolutely,
oh
But I heard
man.
Joe talking today. He was at the, with the with today, with Veterans Day, and,
Oh,
talking
okay.
about how it's his last time he'll be here. And to me, he sounds angry. I don't know if that's his form of whatever he's got going on, but boy, the way he sounded to me like he was kind of screaming, and
I wonder.
I don't know. I think
You
he's
think
got
he's?
some anger. I think he's harboring some anger
I was
there,
gonna
but
say, you think he's got it there mentally enough to be pissed off that he
I
got
think he
pushed out
does.
of this shit. You
Absolutely.
know,
I think he does. Yeah. I
because I
really
wonder if
do.
he'd have stood a better chance than Harris did against Trump. And I don't think he would have won, but I'm
Yeah,
curious.
I think he
Had they?
probably would have had a better chance because it's Joe Biden.
I,
He's been around 50 years, but he's just, I
I,
mean,
I
and they knew from when he got in here that his mind was going
Sure,
south, but
sure. I just think it was getting harder and harder to put him in front of people,
oh,
and
yeah,
I think they were
absolutely.
battling that with him. It's like, man,
Yes.
how do we push him down the stretch to really get this side past the
Yes.
finish line? I just
Yes.
don't know if they saw a way to do that with Biden because of his mental,
Right.
decline, which is no
Yes.
fault of his own, but
No.
it is the reality of it. So
Yes.
maybe that's what kind of made that decision for them. But then it was like, why not leave it up to the people to decide who they want to run instead of just throwing Harris in there? You know?
Yeah, I think that's one of the unanswered things, man, of how and who,
Yeah.
because you read stuff and I've heard stuff and just by reading and it's like he was cognitive enough to ask is like she the best candidate that we have to do this, and
Yeah.
no, I don't believe she was. I don't know. But I think she was just the sympathizer and she just went along with the playbook and here we are. She got her ass whipped.
Yeah. I think they were trying to run on the she's a woman,
Hmm.
thing. And like that was just going to draw, enough votes. But
Absolutely.
I'm with you. It didn't happen. So she
Thank
can go
God.
on and fade away, which I wonder what she's going to do now. I wonder if she's going to stay in some kind
Oh,
of,
I don't think she's going to tread too far from politics.
yeah.
Maybe a lobbyist
Yeah,
group or something, because
it's
she's
easy
been
money.
around her whole life. Hey, easy money, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Easy
I'm sure
money.
she's well taken care of, if I had to
Yeah.
guess. So,
Yep. Man, I'm looking at I'm torn on this Rubio stuff, man.
are you?
I don't know, man. It's just so lackluster to me.
Yeah,
I was waiting
I
on it because
agree.
who were they down like Rick Scott or something?
Yeah, Rick
Was was
Scott.
was a
Was it
big name.
Cornyn? Was
Yeah,
Cornyn one of them?
and I seen Scott was the one that a lot of people were saying
Yeah,
needed to be in there. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And for some reason, maybe he'll come out and talk about it. I'm just curious what decided that.
Yeah, and I do
So,
believe, well, Mitch McConnell, what faculties he has left. He's going to want to put some rhino in there that's totally against Trump, and then
oh, of
totally,
course.
not want to work with Trump. I'm sure, because I don't care what you say, but the boy from South Carolina, Lindsey Graham, of course, he comes out when he needs it, and to me, he's a warmonger, but um, I don't think he's a true Trump supporter. I think he kind of just rolls with the punches.
Of course he
So.
does. Which is
Yeah, and but you still got those kind of people in there. So
yeah.
it's going to be
Yeah.
interesting to see what he can truly get done and who works with Trump. And like you said earlier, it would probably be in your best interest to get on board.
I think he
And
would.
yeah,
I think if you're really seeing what's going on right now in this transition the country's making back to normalcy, you may
Yes.
want to jump on board if you plan on, people in your state or whatever
Yes.
supporting you. I mean, I don't know how you couldn't see that right now, and they may. So, I mean, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they're going to work with Trump. Now you're going to have some that, of course, they've got their biases and they've got their money elsewhere that they need to protect. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
you're going to get some pushback, but having the fucking House, having the Senate, I mean, God, if we can't get shit done, I
Yeah.
mean, there's no hope. If we
And the
can't get
Supreme
it done,
Court. You got to think we got
I've
the
got it
Supreme.
all.
Yeah. You
Speaking
know.
of that, I'm hoping we can get a couple that get the fuck out of there and let him appoint some younger ones. You know what I
Well,
mean?
you heard that's what Biden wanted. What's her name, Sotomayor, to
Yeah,
step down so they could appoint a young one.
yeah.
But I don't know if she'll do that. And I'm on the same on the Republican side. I really think Clarence Thomas is of his age. I really think, and I'm not saying do it tomorrow, but when Trump's in office in the next couple of years, I really think he ought to look into retirement. You know.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, he, he
and
he
get
he's at
somebody
that
young up
age.
there and lock up the courts. And then really, is it a bad idea that if we expand the Supreme Court under Republican control, would that be okay? Would the Democrats be okay with
Well,
that?
yeah, you think they want to do that now?
Yeah, right,
You think they want
exactly.
to expand the Supreme Court?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, let's give it a
that's
shot.
what's.
Let's see how they fucking go unhinged.
Yeah, I did see him talking about term limits for these damn congressmen,
Really.
man. I seen him screaming about that too. So we'll see, man.
Well, this would be the time to do it instead of trying to do it with an all Democrat majority in there.
Yeah,
So
I think he's going to be. It's an uphill battle, I believe, because I still think he's fighting the establishment. But
yes,
like I said, I love what I'm hearing. I love, I think he's going to get a good bit of it done. Whether it's all
yes,
of it, I don't know. Like I said, but I do believe he's going to get shit done, man. I really do. I think next year is going to be an amazing year. As soon as he gets in there, you're going to start seeing some changes. You're going to start seeing him telling people to get the fuck out. You know what I mean? And you're going to start
absolutely.
seeing these people that he picks to put in these prominent positions. I think
Yes.
he's gonna do a lot better with this one.
I
Like I
hope
said,
so. I hope so. I hope he can do something with the FBI and the Department of Justice,
mm,
and you know,
yes,
and no recourse to like all the field workers out there with FBI because I'm sure they're
right.
great people. It's just the upper management, I guess, however you want to call them. These
Oh,
entrenched
it's yeah,
people that have been there for years. Yeah, they need to clean house, man, all
yeah.
the way around.
Well, what
And
you
then
think about what you think about I guess lack of a better word, but revenge? For all the people that came after Trump, including these corrupt judges and these
right.
these you think that should be something he should concentrate on, or is that just like too petty and just move on and you know
Yeah, I mean, I think revenge is just kind of it's one of those kind of slippery slope words, man. But should they be investigated? Should there be absolutely some of these politicians, if it's the Pelosi's for the insider trading or whatever kind of backroom deals. Yeah, look, I do believe there's a two-tier justice system in this country. So,
yeah.
uh, yes, I do. The Adam Schiffs and all of these other ones, and there's probably a handful of these rhinos that are in there that are just kind of with this establishment. Yeah, they all need to be looked into.
That's what I'm
And if
curious.
they
Like,
find any wrongdoing, prosecute them,
yeah,
put
I
them in
mean, Albert.
prison, whatever needs to be done. But revenge, look, man, it is what it is. Um,
Well,
I'm sure after what they put this man through that he's going to want some retribution on some of the bullshit that they put him through. And I'm
well,
all for it. I mean, to be honest with you, if
well,
that's
and
just what needs to be done.
that's what I was going to say. If you were just elected president and they had came after you like they did him, do you think that would be on your agenda to try to get back at every motherfucker that came at you and
Absolutely.
wrongfully came at you? I don't mean just in politics way where they just start
Yeah.
saying that some bad words about you. I mean came after this man like this
Yeah.
Alvin
Tried to
Bragg
tried to
motherfucker.
bankrupt him and tried to put him in prison.
Yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I think if I was elected president, brother, and that was happening to me, and I came into power, that it would definitely be something I would be looking into for sure.
Guess it's a
Yeah.
good thing we're not president, but I'm with
Yeah.
you
And
because
look, for actually like all these J6ers, man, dude, they need to be pardoned, man.
get them out of there. You're
Get them
right.
out of there, and
You're right.
Yeah, and then start looking at Pelosi about that, not calling up the National Guard and not doing her duty. To me, it's a dereliction of duty.
Yeah, and that's kind of
She
what
had
I
a
mean.
she yeah she had to do it and she didn't do it.
I don't know if he's gonna take it that far. I just don't know how you don't if you're him because they, like I said, they didn't just play the typical, politician games with this man. They
Right.
tried to destroy him and
Absolutely.
anybody who was they tried to kill him. You know
Uh,
what I mean?
twice.
So
Yeah.
why? I don't know. Like to me, I'd be like, look, I'm gonna get these gas prices down, but I gotta handle something first. You know what I mean? And I'd
Absolutely.
have a fucking list, of
Oh, he's got a
everybody
black
I'm
book, I'm
going
sure.
after. I'd
Yeah.
have to. And if he doesn't, he's a bigger man than me. Maybe that's not on his mind. Because it's like he said last time, he could have prosecuted Hillary. He
I
decided
know.
not to do it because he said it
Yep.
was a bad look for the country. You
Yes.
know what I mean? And it probably is,
Yeah.
but they
Yep.
they did it to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
and the same thing, it's like I think Joe Biden came out the other day and said he would not pardon his son on the way out, which I don't believe him, but
yeah, why wouldn't you?
yeah,
You
last
know?
day in office, last hour, sign
Yeah.
it and it's over with. But the question is, do you think Trump would go into the investigative process of investigating Biden and making all of his money that he's made and this and that? I would, absolutely, I
I
would,
would too.
absolutely.
I don't think he's gonna do it just considering how it was last time. I just don't know how you fight the urge, like I said, but
Oh, dude,
maybe I'm
yeah,
just too fucking petty, but I would throw
I'm with you.
the full force of the law at all these motherfuckers that came after me and try to destroy my life, you know what I mean?
Yes,
Because they're
yeah,
not done. They're still gonna continue to try to do it, you know?
absolutely, yeah,
But
absolutely,
and then on the Hunter Biden thing, Biden's probably saying that shit because he knows his son isn't going to receive any sort of punishment. You know what I
right,
mean? I mean,
right,
all they're going to do is slap him on the fucking wrist. So it's easy to say, no, I'm not going to pardon him. It's like there's going to be nothing to pardon. You know what I'm
right,
saying? So, but
exactly right.
if they threw his ass in jail, he's a fucking liar if he says he wouldn't get his son out. Because I mean, why wouldn't you if you had that
Yeah,
power and you were
if
on
you
your
had the
way out
power to
anyway?
do it, exactly
Yeah.
right. Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
right.
But speaking of pardoning, I'm with you. I think Trump needs to get in there, and the first thing he needs to do is find these people that were wrongfully or overly convicted for this
Yes,
J6 shit. You know what I'm
yes,
saying? Now, if somebody went out there and they actually broke a law, then whatever, they got to serve their time. But these ones that are sitting in there for doing absolutely nothing on these trumped up charges, he needs to
yes,
get in there, get all these motherfuckers out right away because it's
yeah.
nothing but a sign of a fucking, a piece of paper and it can happen.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Yeah, and
So,
there's a lot of people I believe sitting in jail on trumped up bullshit and over sentencing
yeah.
on bullshit.
Yep.
And they were just making an example of these people.
That's exactly what they're doing. So hopefully that's on his agenda, along with all
Yes.
this other shit that I've been reading throughout the day, man. It's so hard to keep up with because every time you turn around, he's dropping something else new that he plans on doing, and it all
Yeah,
sounds
drill, baby,
amazing.
drill. Open up
Yes.
everything you can with drilling. If it's
Yeah,
coal, oil, whatever, natural gas, whatever it might be.
I seen a lot
Um,
of people that they're freaking out over this Department of Education, with
yes,
him talking nixing that. I don't understand the panic
me
on
neither.
that side. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I guess it's people that think the government needs to be in charge of what every state is teaching the children in the state. I don't know. I mean, we saw where that was going, but and there may be more to it. Maybe they're looking into it deeper than I have. I just don't see the big issue that these people are freaking out about because he's talking about getting rid of that.
Yes, exactly. And look, I do. I believe in a lot of these laws, a lot of these things. If it's Department of Education, it needs just like abortion. Man, he's not abolishing abortion. He just wants to send it all back to the states and
Yeah.
let the states decide on what to do with their education or if it's abortion. And if it so happens you live in a state that bans abortion, I don't know what to tell you. Move to another state. Find a state
It
that makes you happy.
it's something I thought this country was founded because they were tired of putting up with fucking England shit and having a
Absolutely.
fucking king and a dictator. Now you got half the country that wants to be parented by the government. It's so crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And then
people
it's
forget,
this
man. People don't read history. We went to war for a revolution over a 2% tax on tea.
fucking on T. These motherfuckers
On
like, you
tea.
ain't telling me, like, bitch, fuck you and your tax. And that's how it should be. Now, the
Absolutely.
side that used to be for that has totally turned around, man. And it's like,
It's true.
govern me more, govern me more. And
Yes.
I don't get it, man. And that's one thing. Trump is trying to get away from, that the government doesn't need that kind of control. Let
No.
the states do it. And
Yes.
and I know in some, one way or another, that's still somebody making laws that you have to abide by because you live in that state. But it
Right.
gets the federal government the fuck out of your
Off your
face
back.
for the yes. I mean, I don't
Absolutely.
know why that's such a
Yeah.
fucking
And people
it's
love it. People want it. People want that womb to the tomb, man, cradle to the grave, dude.
fuck
People
that.
just, and it's like, no, I just want to be left alone. I
That's
don't want
it.
you to tax me into oblivion. And I don't mind paying taxes because you need to. I mean, we've got to have infrastructures and we got to have, departments have to run. I don't mind paying taxes, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
just, it's insane.
just don't increase our T tax because we're going to
Our
fucking
T-tax, yeah,
war.
absolutely. Look, I think he needs to try to pass some type of flat tax, brother. 10%.
Yeah,
You make 100 grand, you pay 10,000 bucks. It's over with, dude. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And that's what you pay, man. So I think there's ways to do it, and you put more money in people's pockets, and the economy is going to flourish. Interest rates, that's another thing.
It sounds good. I don't know what the
Yeah,
fuck the pushback is,
man. I don't mean
because
either. You know.
I'm still here and I'm waiting. Women are still freaking out. I don't know how they haven't figured it out yet, but you still see women freaking out like their rights are totally gone. You know
Gone.
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Gone
They're
now.
gonna be back in the kitchen, barefooted. Pregnant and
And I
just
mean,
cooking
look,
all day.
I don't think they should be able to vote, but that's on a total. No, I'm just kidding. No, but they really do. Like I see them online panicking, and I
Absolutely.
believe a lot of it's just for views. I see a
Yes.
lot of it on TikTok. These women freaking out and screaming, and it's like you don't have to be on camera to do that. You know,
No,
go sit in your
exactly.
fucking house and scream. So I don't
Yes,
think it's as big of a deal as it's being made out to be on social media. I
right.
think most people have just moved on with their life. It's like Trump won, get over it.
Get over
They
it. Let's deal with it. You
yeah.
got 4 years to deal with him, and then, you know, let's see what he can do, you know?
So let me see. I'm reading a comment. So in that situation, homeless people would just incur $10,000 in debt every year. I don't know what situation they're talking about, but
Me
that was a
neither.
comment that came through. I'm kind of
Yeah,
lost on that one,
yeah, me too.
but anyway,
Mama Bear, she's a little boisterous tonight, which we like. We love
Mama
it.
Bear
We
is
support you,
Mom,
you
Mama
know?
Bear said podcasts aren't going to work for the Dems.
No.
And she said because people don't agree with the stuff they push. Well, that's true because I know Rogan was talking about it again today. About the stipulations that the Harris campaign was wanting to put on him, you know.
Right,
And it's like, why can't you if you're that strong in your belief on your policies, why should there be rules in a conversation? You know?
right,
Come sit
exactly.
down, express what your beliefs are. If you really believe in them, you don't need to be coached. You don't need
Yeah,
time limits. You don't need,
right,
question freaking limits. I mean, it's like just
exactly.
talk about them. It's like, convince me that your policies make sense, and that should be all it's about. It sounds simple. I
And if you
mean,
truly believe in what you're preaching, then it should be no issue at all. But I still don't
yeah,
understand what he's saying. The flat tax idea you just mentioned.
yeah. You
Um,
mentioned the flat tax. Like if you
yes,
make $100,000, you pay whatever percentage you said.
yeah. Say it's a ten
So,
percent flat tax, but what I'm saying is the situation for homeless people would just incur 10,000 in debt. Um,
not if it's a flat tax. I mean,
yeah, I mean, if the homeless is making $100,000 a year,
then
then yeah,
yeah,
they'll have to pay a flat tax.
well, they shouldn't be homeless. They're making
You would
six
think.
figures, but yeah, I
You would
think they
think.
misunderstood that. I mean, the flat tax is, is basically like you said, if you're making money, is the only way you're paying it. Besides when
No,
you
I
go to the
did
store
not
to,
say that. I did not say, he said $10,000 flat tax. I didn't say that. I said 10% flat tax. So if you're making 5,000 a year, you would pay 10% tax on that
yeah,
$5,000.
they may have misheard it. Yeah,
I
it
think he
was
misunderstood what I was saying. So
right,
if you make a
just a
million
flat.
dollars a year, you'd pay a 10% tax. It'd be $100,000. So
That's kind of the only way to say, your fair share, like they like to say. It's
yeah,
like, well, then give us a flat percent, and it'll goes by what you make. You make more, you pay a little more, but it's still only 10%. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, and like
Right now,
Josh is saying here, he's saying a national sales tax might work. Yeah, he's talking about a VAT tax, value added tax. Um, I guess, man. I mean, we probably pay one of the highest sales tax in the state of where we live at here, as far as in our state. Yeah, it'd be something that I'd have to maybe look over and consider. But and
National sales tax might have
you know,
hurt. Yeah. Yeah, I was just reading the comments on what he was talking about. Yeah, I mean, there's I'm sure there's no simple solution to any of this, but I do believe, for one, I mean, the IRS needs to just fucking go. We need to figure out a better system, a
absolutely,
simpler system, which is what Trump
absolutely,
was
yes,
was running on his first go around. He was basically saying that shit could be it could be done on a postcard compared to
right,
what they make you go
absolutely,
through right now. Now, it didn't
yeah,
change anything, but he was correct. I mean, it's too fucking complicated. It's people are
right,
way overtaxed.
yes,
It's ridiculous, man. Now,
yeah,
that shit brings in so much money to that organization, the IRS, that it's going to be hard to just get
mm,
rid of them. I just don't see that ever happening. But
me neither.
you know, Mike Huckabee spoke of a national say. Yeah, a lot of people spoke of it, Josh.
Yeah,
It's just, man, we just can't get anywhere with it, man. Uh, let's see. This is all assuming we have a revenue issue. I don't think that is the case. I think we have a spending issue. Yeah, very. I'm with
absolutely,
you. I'm with you there,
100%.
buddy.
Yeah,
I'm
you
with
saw
you
Mama
there.
Bear posted it's official. We have 219 in the house now, so
Yep.
that's a good
Yep.
thing.
Definitely got the house.
Got that too.
Time to
You
make
know.
some moves.
Yep.
Time to make some moves. Time to start taking away these women's rights. I'm ready. Let's do it.
No,
Militaries.
and I'm reading this guy here. He's just saying, of course, still people who make more money, more should pay more taxes. I disagree with
Why?
you, dude. Yeah, I disagree. And then, of course, now he's saying his last comment was military spending issue in particular. Are you talking that we spend too much on military or we don't spend enough? Me, I don't think we spend enough on military because I do think there's strength through peace. And when you cut military spending, it seems like countries around the world want to take advantage of us. So you
Yeah,
have
I
to
don't
show
get.
a force of strength in today's world. It's sad, it sucks, but that's just the way it is.
I don't get the people who make more shit. So it's like punish people for having more
Absolutely.
drive
Well,
than
that's
the
that's
next
how
one.
some people think. Oh, you're making 1 million a year. Yeah. So what?
Yeah.
I'm a neurosurgeon, or I'm a doctor, or I'm a high end lawyer, or something. I went to school, and yeah, that's just what I make. Or I'm an investment. I own a big business, and of course, I take all the risk.
Right.
And yeah, I make $1 million a year. Why should I
So
be taxed more? I don't understand that.
yeah, I don't either. I think that's from I hear that, and I'm not accusing this person of that because I don't know him, but I hear it from a lot of people who don't have shit. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of it, it's by their own fault. They just haven't done what they had to do to get where they want to be in life. So therefore, the next man
Absolutely.
shouldn't have that much. Because I know you always hear that argument that, well, nobody needs that much money, and it's like, well,
Right.
who the fuck are you to say that? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Who are you to tell
Absolutely.
Elon he shouldn't be worth? I think he done jumped up to the richest man in the world again. Like, who are you to tell him that he
Right.
doesn't need that much money? Get the
Exa-
fuck out, start building rockets, start
Yeah.
building Starlink, start making electric cars, and maybe you can
Absolutely.
have that shit. There's no
Right.
need to punish somebody. You talk about take away all the drive out of
Absolutely.
people is to say, well, look, we're going to put a cap on your earnings.
Yes.
Well, then it's like, well, fuck you. I'm not doing all this work for nothing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And
Absolutely.
I
And
never
look,
I
I
never
think we got to
understood
get
that.
some props out to California, man, to the California voters. I don't know if you've seen, dude, but they voted down that minimum wage, man. You know,
Yep.
which is a good
Yep.
thing.
It
Yeah,
is.
I don't
It
think
is.
you need $25 an hour to make hamburgers or whatever it might
No,
be.
because they always, and I guess they realize it. I was going to say they always fail to realize, but apparently they realize it, that all that does is make it to where now you got $15 fucking hamburgers. These people are so
Absolutely.
fucking
Right.
goofy that think
Yes.
these businesses are going to eat that. There's no way. You start paying people $25 an hour. There's two fucking options that are going to happen. You're going to start getting fucking robots in that motherfucker,
You took the
or you're
words
going to
right out of my
start
mouth.
you're going to start charging more for your product. So one way or
Absolutely.
another, the
Yes.
the company's not losing.
No,
They're
they're
not
not
losing. It
losing.
sounds great. Let's pay everybody 25, $30 an hour, and let's just all get along, hold hands, and sing kumbaya. But that's not the reality, because these people that own businesses, they're not in it to give away their fucking money. They're going to
Exactly right.
pass that on to the consumer. It happens every
Every
time.
every
Or
day.
they start
Yes.
cutting fucking positions. I don't
Yes.
need that guy on the fries no more. I can buy a robot for 70,000 fucking dollars that'll do it, and it'll pay it off in a couple
Right.
years. I'll be done with that. I don't
Yep.
understand why people have such a hard
Yep.
time believing that. But people
Yep.
will argue you down that minimum wage needs to be way the fuck up there. Now look, Are there some states where it could be higher? Probably
Sure.
so.
Oh,
We're
absolutely.
low
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I
Sure.
don't know
Oh,
what is minimum
absolutely.
wage in Louisiana. Is it still seven something? I mean, what is it, eight
Something like
something?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what it is, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's not high.
Right.
It's less than $10 an hour, which isn't any money, but
Nope.
that should make people strive to go out and try to make a little bit more. I mean, I don't
Yes.
know. I mean, it may be the shitty way to look at it, but
No,
it's
it's
just
not.
how I feel.
No, it's
Businesses are
not.
not charity. The end goal is to be profitable. That's true.
No.
That's what we're talking about, Josh. Yeah, they're not in the business of charity, but some people think that they should just give an employee $25 an hour and then just eat it. You know what I mean? Just
Right.
just eat that extra cost. And it's not reality, man. No matter how much a liberal wants it to be, it's
Right.
not reality. These people are capitalists, man. That's why they have a business.
Absolutely. Well, that's why I got in business for myself, and that's why I believe in the American dream is just capitalism. And
And well,
I'm not a greedy capitalist. I mean, I do. I have
no, just want
employees, and I share the wealth, and we give them Christmas bonuses, and I give them bonuses throughout the year, quarterly, and yeah. So you produce, you make money. You
hey
know.
Gina. I'm sorry, Brad. Hey Gina,
No, go
what's
ahead.
up? And then we got another one. And I get it. A lot of people are freaking out about the tariffs,
Right.
that Trump's talking about because, of course, they're thinking that's just going to drive up consumer goods in the country. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's going to happen because what it may do is because it's not a tariff, isn't a ban. You can still
No,
buy shit from China. So
absolutely.
China's going to have to fucking lower their fucking price if they want to sell their shit in America. Is all that's
Absolutely.
going to lead to.
And all he's trying to do is that, hey, like he was telling John Deere, dude, you want to make tractors out of this country? That's fine. You're gonna pay a 200% tariff to bring it in. All he's trying to do is incentivize and say, hey, John Deere, don't go out the country, build your shit here, and we won't charge you a tariff.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
If it's
And I
Dodge,
believe
they're building most of that shit in Mexico.
in
Bring
Mexico.
it
Yeah.
back here. You know?
And I get it. It's cheaper to do
Yep.
that. So you may, at first, you may have to pay up a little bit more for your goods that are starting to be made in America. But I do think that it will fix itself because you're going to
Yes.
see competition start to be generated in America. And
Right.
if somebody wants to sell their shit, they're going to have to be cheaper than the next man. So
Absolutely.
in the beginning, yeah, we may all have to pay a little bit more for the products that we want. But I think in the end, it's going to be better off for the American people. And like I said, you can still get shit from overseas. They're just gonna have to change their fucking prices if they want to get their shit in America. It is what it is. If
It
not,
is what it
keep
is,
your
dude.
shit in China. We'll
Yes,
build it here.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
We
And it's
rely
just
on
going to
them too
spur
much
growth.
anyway.
It's just going to
Yeah,
spur growth if you start your manufacturing. And if
yeah.
you look at the manufacturing jobs we've lost in this country over the last 5, 6 years, whatever the numbers, it's the numbers are just they're
Well,
horrible.
so what is the comments? What are they talking about? Address what they said about the military budget. What did they? What
Um,
was said about that?
yeah, I don't know.
I,
He was saying something earlier about the military spending, and I haven't caught what he's
yeah,
trying to say.
I couldn't keep up
If he's
with it.
for it or not for it, if he wants to cut it or he wants to spend more. I mean, yeah, we spend a bunch of money on the military, and like I said before, you got to have it in today's world. It is what it is.
What
So,
what what's up with the Trump speech with the anchor babies that Gina's talking about?
um, believe it or not, let her tell us. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been so
A
busy
Trump
today.
speech about anchor babies.
I kind of took a crash course before we got on tonight, but I've been busy as shit. I didn't have time to really.
Yeah.
But I've seen some of the policies that, like I said, I've seen a lot of people freaking out about that with the getting rid of the illegals in the country. Is that some of the
Yes.
the children are born here? So
Yes.
what do you do with that? You know what I mean? And I get it, man. There's no easy answer because it sounds cruel to just say, well, fuck them. That's their parents shouldn't have had them. And I
Yes.
understand that, because it's not like we're heartless. I do get what people are saying, but it's like you have to have some sort of laws and rules when it comes to
Yeah.
people being in this country. And I mean,
Absolutely.
it's on the parent. You should not have come here the wrong way. You
Exactly.
know, we can
Yes.
only take so many. It's
Yeah.
like eventually it's like, well, shit, man. We there's only so much area to put people, man.
Yeah.
Mm,
And it's not just that too. It's you got people coming in this country, Shane, that are just they have no interest in assimilating the way we are. They're not
right.
going to want to speak the language. They're going to want to live off the freebies of the government, and that's just not how we were built. If you look at how the people came in, if it was from the European countries back in the day, if it was the Irish, Italians, and from French and all that, man, they got here and they loved it, and they assimilated, and they
Yeah.
most of them prospered. And
Yeah.
but you do have these ones that come in here that just thinking it's just going to be this free ticket. I'm gonna get all of this endless money.
Of course.
If I work, I work. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, anchor babies, dude, it's another one. It's just a tough gig, man. It's just a tough gig.
Yeah, and Josh is right because Josh is talking about
Yep.
children born here are citizens. If the parents are here illegally and have a criminal record, then the parents can surrender the kid to the state or take the kid with them back to where they came from. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do. It's
Yeah, and
just
then go through the proper channels.
yeah,
Look, go through the proper
yeah,
channels to become a citizen if that's
yeah. I
really what
mean,
you want to do.
stop coming over here and having fucking kids. I
Yeah,
mean, you know.
absolutely. I
But
agree
I'm
with
with
you.
you when it's being promoted by one side that it's a fucking free for all. Just come
Yeah,
across the border and we're going to take care of you. Why wouldn't you come? You know what I
absolutely,
mean? I mean,
absolutely.
we all agree. We know why they want to come,
Yeah,
but let's get it back to where they have to do it the right way. Let's vet
yes,
these people. You know,
yeah, and that
military
still
spending
worries
is
me too, man. That worries me too of who we have in our country now. That's just
yeah. They don't
never
even
been
know.
vetted, never been stopped. And as
They
much as
don't
they
even
push
know.
this COVID shit on us with vaccine, 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 you open up the borders and you let, I don't know what the number is. I've heard everything from 10 million to 30 million. I'm
Yeah,
more to believe it might be more than 30 million,
they don't even know. That's the
They have
problem.
no
They
idea.
have no
Yeah.
fucking clue. They have no clue. What military spending is over half the congressional budget and more than the top 10 other spenders combined, which is way too much. I mean, I don't know. I'm back and forth. Like, can you put a price tag on your country's fucking, I guess, safety?
Security. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want
Absolutely.
to.
And I think things can be done, man, with that. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
because you
yeah,
hear
yeah.
stories that, they build Navy ships and the toilet seats are costing
Sure,
$100,000.
sure.
So
Yeah.
I do believe they need more governmental oversight when it comes to that. Does a Patriot missile really need to cost $1 million? I don't know,
Right.
like I said, but can you? But I don't believe you can cut the military budget because you can see what Joe Biden's done now. And let's talk about it. When he left Afghanistan, he left what, $8 billion worth of military equipment over there. Um, and I think
Oh, at
that's
least.
always, oh yeah, and that's always kind of been the practice of the military, that it was more to transport it back and they would just destroy it. And like Trump has always said, it's like, nah, screw destroying it. We'll bring it back here, repurpose it, and do what we got to do.
Oh, of
You know?
course. Yeah, and look, honestly, if I think there's one place we're gonna piss away money or at least overspend, fuck the military. I
Yeah,
mean, just what I mean,
absolutely,
because we do have the best one in the world as far as I'm considered. You know what I mean?
absolutely, yes,
So it is tough. I mean, I know there's probably a lot more to it than that. I'm sure there's, like you said, there's ways that spending can be cut. But
absolutely,
if we're gonna waste it somewhere, I'd rather it be there. You know what I
yes,
mean? Now,
yes,
I know for a fact because I have relatives that are in military branches, and
sure,
they will tell me the way that the money's being fucking wasted. You know what I
yes,
mean? But
sure,
it's yeah, it's one of those where it's kind of that fine line between you don't want a great value military. You know what
no,
I mean?
no,
I'd rather
no,
not
right.
have that. You know, I
It's
want
100% right. Yeah, you got
yeah,
to be top notch, and you got to keep your allies supported. And always people are always saying how much we spend military spending, but we do sell arms around the world.
yeah,
If it's Israel or if it's some of these other countries that support us, and we do sell them a lot of our jets and tanks and military vehicles and missiles and ammunitions and guns and stuff. So what's the pros of us selling stuff, and what's the budget coming in? I know we spend a bunch, we spend a
yeah.
shit ton, man, but I'm okay
Well,
with it,
oh
honestly.
yeah, yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I like Josh's way on it, man. It's like, we send that message of fuck around and find out. I mean, that's our
absolutely.
military. I mean, did you see that reel going around? And it might have been from the last Trump presidency, but it's a guy. He's sitting in a podcast. I think he's on there with Sage Steele, but he's talking about that time where Trump was negotiating with one of these leaders of the Taliban, and he
Right.
was going through an interpreter, and he told the interpreter to tell him, if you kill one more
One.
American,
Right.
we will fucking annihilate you. And
Yep.
the interpreter looked at him like, and he said, no, tell him.
Yeah.
And then he said he pulled out a fucking picture of the damn leader's house, handed it to him, and walked the fuck out the room.
Absolutely.
That's how you fucking do it.
That's how
You know
you
what I
do it,
mean?
man.
And he
Yeah,
said for the next 18 months that he was in office, not a fucking American was killed. That's how
exactly
you
right.
fucking walk into a room and control
Yep.
that motherfucker. And that's why we need the most powerful military in the world. So if they want to piss away some money doing it, fuck it, let them do it.
Yep.
We need shit like that,
Yep.
because we could have done it. You know what I mean? And these other
Oh yeah.
places know that.
Oh yeah.
They know
Absolutely.
it, just like he said, it's a fuck around and find out mentality. And these other leaders know for damn sure we can
Right.
do it if need be, you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. And I believe
So,
that with Gina, she's saying our military is the backbone of this country, and it really is, and it can offer a
yeah,
lot for people. And I've always said it that you got a lot of these young people in this country today that don't know which way to go. We don't have enough trade schools for these kids. They tout and they push this college, college, college. Why? Because it's indoctrination centers to mold their brains into to left link. Yeah, and it's money. Exactly right. But you
yeah,
know what? I'm not opposed to the military saying, hey, you don't know what you want to do in life? Go do a 2 year stint in the military. First off, you're going to get disciplined. You're going to get paid to go do it. And then you're going to learn some form of trade, whatever it might be, diesel mechanics or whatever it might be, refrigeration, whatever it could be, construction. You'll learn something that way.
yeah. The only thing I don't like that I look down on that is the warmongering that goes on in these senseless wars where they send these young people to die
Absolutely.
over
Oh, I agree. Yeah,
money is
I
what a lot of.
agree.
It's not about protecting our country. It's about huge profit that's going to be gained from
Right.
convincing these kids that you need to go overseas and fight some
Yes.
senseless fucking war. That's the only thing that would ever keep me from telling my kids to join that
Absolutely.
shit. And
Yeah,
it's a shame because it
it
used to
is.
be a badge of honor. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like
absolutely.
join the military, protect your country. But like I said, it's not about protecting this country because none of these wars are fought on this soil. It's
No.
always somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then when you trace the back to why we're fighting, it always leads to somebody's fucking profiting. You know what I mean? It's
Exactly.
disgusting because people are dying over this shit
Yes.
and they don't care. That's the
War is
only
very
knock I have.
profitable, man.
Yes, that's the
Yeah.
only knock I have against our military and people like Liz fucking Cheney and the rest of these
Yes.
fucks that profit off of war because they
Yes.
never want it to end. And they
Nope.
will send your kid, my kid, anybody else's child out there besides their own to die
Yes.
so
Yes.
they can continue to profit. And it's fucking sick. And that's why recruitment is down so much in this country, man. People have lost that patriotic feeling. Like we don't push that on our children no more because nobody wants to send your kid overseas to die so these fucks
Exactly.
can get wealthy. You know what I
I
mean?
I agree with you
It's
100%.
disgusting.
Yeah, I agree with you
And that
100%,
ain't a knock on the military, man. I respect everybody who's ever served and never is going to
Right.
serve. I'm just saying if you really look at what's going on, it's a scary thing to try to talk your child into doing that shit, knowing
Yes.
that somebody who wants to make a few dollars will just ship their ass somewhere to die and don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Well, thank you for your service, Josh. Absolutely, man.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
definitely. Like I said, I nothing but respect because I never had
absolutely.
it in me to go. I'm like, oh fuck that. I seen movies with boot camp, and I'm like, nah, they ain't yelling at me when I can't go to fuck home. So look,
Yeah,
I give it to you, man. But I'm just saying nowadays, man, when you start to see what's going on, and I'm saying nowadays, the shit's been happening for generations.
yeah,
But as
absolutely.
far as when I come to the age where I start paying attention to that shit, and then I
Yeah,
start seeing like the shit that's went on in Iraq, and when you start learning about all this weapons of mass destruction, which was never fucking
total
real.
false. Right.
Yeah, and there's people still over there because of that nonsense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
And
true.
that's what happens war after war. We are a war hungry country, and it's
Yes,
never going to change because there's so much fucking money to be made. Now,
absolutely.
it may change for a second because, somebody like Trump's in office, but it's going to go right back to it when he's gone. You know what I mean? Just overall, we are war hungry.
Yeah, 100% right. 100% right.
What
I'm
did
just
he
trying to
say?
read some of these comments
Oh,
here.
yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep up with them. I'll just sit
Yeah.
here and run my
Yeah.
mouth for an hour and not
Yeah,
read a
Mama Bear,
comment.
Biden did. Biden gave a shitload of weapons and ammo and planes and tanks and equipment to Afghanistan as well as he did Ukraine.
And the
So
motherfuckers were when they left them over there, they were just fucking like they had a parade showing them all off.
absolutely.
I'm like, how
Disgusting, man.
fucking embarrassing,
Total
It,
disgusting.
that shit would have never happened under Trump. For one, he wouldn't have left him. If he did, he'd just say, "You fucking touch him, we're coming back." You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
100%. No, I agree with you, Josh. Yeah, if it was that easy, everybody would do it, you know. And it's just if you cut out for it. And I've had people in my family that went in the military, and God bless them. You know, it was just never in my playbook to do that, you know. So,
Th-
but yeah,
This is
hats off to
a
you. Thank you for
this is
your
a
service.
this is a strange breaking news. Trump to reportedly nominate Soros-funded Scott Bessent for Treasury Secretary. Why would you appoint anyone that's funded by
So,
George Soros? I
wow.
don't like seeing that. I don't know what that's about, but it is
Yeah.
breaking news. I'd have to read up on that a little bit
Yeah.
more to see how that comes about. But that it seems like that Soros name is tied to nothing good ever.
No.
You know.
No. Nothing good at all, Shane. But yeah, we're gonna have to do a little research on that and get back
Yeah,
to our
it's like
people
people.
here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a big red flag, man. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't want to judge it too much right now because that's the only news I'm seeing is just the headline, you know. But I don't like it. I don't like I said, man. You start tying Soros, it's like what can he do for that administration at all, you know?
Yeah. God,
I don't
I don't
know.
know. That's interesting, man. Wow.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's just breaking. But let's see. Says
Should not come
what
as a
else is happening?
surprise. What shouldn't be a surprise to anyone? I'm just reading this comment
Yeah,
that
try to
Trump's
make
appointing those kind of people. I don't know.
no, it surprises me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised that he's doing that, you know.
That fucking Bitcoin was 88,000 at least an hour ago. It was 88.6. Like, god damn.
It dropped a little bit.
Ah, fuck, I guess. I mean, what was it? What was its
Yeah.
height?
I saw it maybe 3 o'clock ish. It was what, 88, almost $89,000, you know?
Jesus,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Man, I
You
tell
know.
you, I kicked myself in the ass. I mean, we've talked about it
You and me
before.
both, man.
A buddy of ours, man, tried to push me on that shit years ago, and I told him he was fucking stupid. That
Yeah.
what is that? You
Absolutely.
can't spend that. What the fuck
Yeah.
is a Bitcoin? He's like, I'm
Isn't
telling you,
that the
man.
truth, man? Oh, dude,
Oh
this
man,
thing might be $100,000 before he
I
takes
know. Which
office, you know?
I do have a little bit of it, but
Yeah.
it's like I would have had more had I listened to this
Yeah.
person in the past. You know,
Absolutely. You and me both, dude. Yeah,
but
you and me both. You
what
know?
else is going on? I'm
So
trying to
when it
see.
comes to the economy, I trust Trump to make it work. Notices.
Read it out loud. I can't see it.
Yeah, when it comes to the economy, I trust Trump to make it work. One thing I notice is when he says or does something, regardless of the backlash, it turns out to be right every time. Yeah, for the most part, I
He's
agree
got
with
it.
you. Yeah,
He's got a good track record. I mean, it's
yeah,
not like he hasn't fucked up, but like I said, I think a lot
yeah,
of it was just getting bad advice from people that had bad intentions. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah.
nobody's perfect. I mean, look,
No,
if you judge a president by perfection, you're never going to get that. You know what I mean? I mean,
right.
there's no such thing. I mean, they're doing the best they can with a job that had no kind of training, especially somebody like Trump. I mean, he's had a little bit of practice now, but I mean, running the most powerful country in the fucking world, and you're
Hmm.
just thrown into that shit.
Right.
Now you make that choice, obviously, but it's like who is really ready for that? You know what I mean?
No, no,
It's
absolutely,
it's
dude.
it's crazy. That's why most of us don't want it. It's like I don't want nothing to do with that shit.
Nothing to do with it, you know. No, I wouldn't want anything to do with it. I don't think it'd be worth the money, you know. I mean,
No,
yeah.
no. What is it like 200 something over 300? What is it? A
I think the
yearly
president, I
salary?
think he's up to about 480 or something like that,
Oh
450,
yeah.
480 a year, you
No, they
know?
can keep it. Now, granted, they seem to leave wealthy every time they
Hmm.
leave the White House, but
Oh, yeah,
still, yeah. No, the
absolutely.
trouble ain't worth it, man. Fuck all that, dude.
Yeah.
You're hated.
Taking bullets and all that
Well, you're
crap. Yeah.
hated by half the world. You're loved by half, but it's like it's yeah. Your life is at risk daily. I mean, now fuck all that. And I don't want to control people that much. Honestly, I just don't. I just want to be left the fuck alone and get on YouTube and talk shit.
Absolutely. Yeah, Josh, who
So,
has the better witch laugh, Hillary or Kamala? If I had to
ooh,
tell you,
oh.
I'd have to say Kamala, man.
Yeah, I
I
haven't
just,
heard Hillary's in a while, so it's
yeah,
hard. I'd like to see maybe like a hear a side by side comparison. Maybe I'll have to
yeah,
pull that up one day and see.
yeah. We'll put a short out and then we'll take a poll, man, and see.
That's the better witch laugh.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Eee.
But in the
Let's
realm of
see.
things, Hillary's done. She's a has been, and hopefully Kamala's a has
Yeah.
been, and she's done too. So she can retire with Dougie, and they can do whatever they got to do in California. You know. So
And what you think they're going to do with Trump with this sentencing that's coming up? I think it's on the 25th.
I don't know. It's
You
gonna
know,
be
you think
interesting,
that
man.
I know the judge had the has the power to just go ahead and throw that shit out, but they haven't said
He
anything.
hadn't
You
done
think
it
they're
yet,
gonna
huh?
actually go through with that, or you think that would
No,
just cause too much of a
no.
fucking uproar?
I think it
You
would be a
know?
total uproar,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering, being president elect, if he's immune, if immunity kicks in from all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he has to be the president, for him to
Yes.
is what they were saying, which is why they're kind of leaving it on this judge to either decide to pursue this shit or just go ahead and throw this shit out. Which
Yeah.
I would think, when it comes down to it, I don't know how any of this shit can stick because it was all just made up fucking charges anyway. So
Yeah.
and I think the
Gina's
judge will
Gina's
know
saying
that.
they dropped it. So,
Did they?
yeah, yeah.
Well, good,
Yeah,
good.
and they should. Yeah, absolutely, man, because it's all bullshit. And then you had a prosecutor in there, Jack Smith, that wasn't appointed through Congress, and look, it's coming. I think that's going to come back to bite him in his ass too, because now they're wanting to audit Jack Smith on, because dude, they saying he spent something, was it 50, $60 million, and now they're wanting to see what contracts was given out for the
Yeah, what
dollars amount for that kind of money. And hey, you talk about
exactly?
overspending. It's like, God damn, dude, you know?
Yeah, that's true, man. I hope
Yeah,
they said they got to dig into that shit, but.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the
Mm,
kind of shit we got to clean up.
See, this is of let's see, November 7th. Judge in Trump's New York criminal case considering tossing his felony convictions. That was on the 7th. What day? What's the date? What the
Today?
fuck? Yeah, what the fuck's
Yeah,
the
I don't
date?
even
Oh,
know,
the
ninth or
11th.
something like that. Yeah.
I
When you're
can't keep up with this
self-employed, every
shit.
day is another
Yeah,
day. It's
every
the
day is
11th,
fucking.
dude. So,
Yeah.
hey, Karen, how you doing out there? It's good to see you back on our feed here. And Hillary's laugh is the most evil in your opinion? Yeah, you're probably right, when it comes to evil laughs.
I think she's the more evil of the two, honestly.
Absolutely. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that woman there.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was trying to get more because I didn't hear nothing about that being thrown out, but I could be wrong. I
We'll have
don't
to
know
do our little
everything, just
homework. Yeah.
most of everything. Now who we got? Who's joining us? Karen.
Yeah, Karen. Yeah.
Karen. Let's see. Karen. All right. What else is going on? Scott Baio still loves Trump. That's all I see on X every time I
Yeah.
get on it. Yeah, Scott Baio's a big supporter. Uh, let's see. FEMA using a lower level person as a scapegoat for not helping Trump supporters is unfair. It's time for
Oh,
accountability. That's true. That's true
yeah.
because I don't think it was just
Absolutely.
that woman. I don't think it
Yeah.
was just her. I think it was the
No.
fucking federal government as a whole.
Yeah.
Because they sure did sit on their hands when it came to that shit, man. They could
Oh,
have been
dude.
over there. I mean, how do you
Dude.
get private citizens over there faster rescuing people than the fucking federal
Isn't that the
government? You
truth?
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Isn't
no
that the
excuse
truth?
for that shit.
Yeah. Trump wasn't even president. He was first on the ground. You know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Probably
I
bringing
know.
loads of stuff, water, supplies, medical. Dude, it's just, yeah. They totally
Yeah.
dropped the ball on that.
Well, yeah, even those private citizens, they were turning around with them helicopters trying to rescue people. It's like if they can be out there flying helicopters, then the damn military could have,
Absolutely.
or some form of the government could have been over there, but they weren't.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame.
Yeah,
Uh,
and that whole thing that they were giving him $750, if you qualified for it. And it's like, Jesus, dude, he's taxpayer citizens, man.
that's what they need to give Kamala because she's like 20 mil in the hole. Just give her
Yeah, right.
$750.
Exactly. Yeah, McConnell needs to quit. Yeah, I agree with you, and he is. He's retiring. I think it's at the end of the month. I'm thinking he's retiring, so I think
Yeah,
he's
but
done.
he'll be somewhere with it. You know how them people are. They don't go away.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what his mental capacity is anymore. I don't think he's up to par anymore
Nah,
either,
it
you
didn't
know?
seem like it.
No.
It didn't seem like it. You're right. Well,
Yeah.
everybody wanted Rick Scott for majority leader.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. What else is new? Anything else? We might have hit on it all, man. Might have
I
hit
think
on
we
it,
did
but
pretty good tonight, you
yep.
know? I think we really did.
All right. Let's wrap this shit up.
Yep.
It is where I'm
Absolutely.
at. It's 9:20 over here, and that is about an hour past my bedtime. So I am out of here. I'm gone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, I thank everybody for watching, subscribing, like us. We'll be back for sure. Yeah, Gina, FEMA's in debt. Yeah, they're in debt. They've given all that money to all these illegals. So It's another issue.
I think I'm gonna be on here tomorrow night with Justin.
Okay.
So if any of
Yeah.
y'all are paying attention, y'all, we'll be on about the same time tomorrow, talking more shit, bringing up some crazy news stories going on around the world, and
Uh,
we'll talk to y'all later. Brad, it's always good. I'll see
absolutely,
you.
Shane.
I'm
Good to
sure
see
I'll see
you.
you. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll talk during the week, and then
Yep,
we'll do it again. But thanks to all our supporters, man. We truly,
that's
truly,
it.
truly appreciate y'all.
B.S.ing with the guys. Love y'all.
We out. Thank you, brother.